Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial from Schnorgely Jorkson. This is covering the Meteor F3 and actually we have a review at the beginning, a review and then a guide. So here's the review of the Meteor F3. It is a pile of crap plane. It has two jet engines, wings, and it's a piece of crap. It has good guns, of course, at least fairly good. But it maneuvers and handles, and its top speed and acceleration and climb are all very bad. That being said, it is better than the Vampire as far as I can tell. I've not flown the Vampire, but from test flights it does seem better than the Vampire. Now unfortunately, as you see in this clip, I'm not going to talk about this first clip. This is me dodging jets that are better than me, Shooting Star and the Panther. They're very good jets, and I'm going to just try to dodge them until they kind of get tired of failing to take me down, hopefully, and go head-to-head with me, and I can kill them that way. This plane is very good at head-ons, and that's mostly what I will be trying to do in most of my games, is just going head-to-head with people. That being said, and the review being over, this plane is a great way to grind to the F4. Actually, lately after getting the upgrades on this plane, is a little bit better, not that noticeably better, definitely not better than pretty much any other jet. But after getting the upgrades, I'm winning most of my games just because me and my Meteor allies stick together and cover each other and force the enemy into head-ons. And that's what you need to do. Here's some basic tips. When you're taking off, you can raise your flaps all the way up when you first start to take off. That helps you take off a little bit quicker. When you're landing, make sure to put your flaps down and put on your landing brakes. You can just leave your engines to pretty much full throttle if you do that, all the way until you basically get to about half a kilometer from the runway. The best climb rate for this plane is about 10 to 15 degrees. Just make sure you're going about 300 or 400 or 350 to 400 kilometers per hour. Yeah, as you can see here in this clip, I'm trying to abuse my brakes as much as I can because its brakes do work a lot better than other jets, partially because the engines have so little power. This plane is fairly fast. It's much faster than props, which you'll often be matched against, but it's not really faster than any other jet in the game. So it's one of the slowest jets, in fact. So you're gonna not be able to outrun pretty much anybody. As you can see here, I'm just trying to dodge this guy enough so he overshoots me, and then I can get a hit on him afterwards. But a smart enemy will just go straight up, away from you, or just keep turning away from you after they overshoot you, which makes it very hard for you to get any kills or anything like that. This guy is going to show me using the Meteor F3 to boom and zoom, to attack bombers, to attack fighters, even killing a MiG-15 and F-86. But for most games, you don't want to be trying to go for jets. The F-80s, of course, yes, you can go for them, especially in head-ons, because they only have machine guns, and you're extremely good at head-ons considering your engines are to the side, so they can't snipe your engine very easily. That being said, as you can see, I'm still trying to dodge. I actually get on this guy. This is one of the first games I played with the F3. As you can see there, I had a little ping issue, so I couldn't get on this guy very well. And then I'm a terrible shot, as you can see also. You have to get used to leading with jets with this plane a lot. Not so much because you're a jet and you're going so fast, but because the enemy is going much faster than you're probably used to. And you're going to have to lead way more than you expect. Or at least way more than you would normally enemy. Here, as you can see, my wing gets black. and this Panther overshoots me, but he's instantly like 0.7 kilometers from me as soon as I can get my targeting reticle onto him. That's okay though. Never give up. In this plane, you're going to want to try to just make the most of your situation, try to cause other jets to overspeed crash. A lot of times you'll be playing against people in F-80s. There's a lot of, at least, especially if you're playing on the American server, there's going to be a lot of people playing American jets, and they don't really have much idea of what they're doing. So you have a lot of opportunities to kill people who are making mistakes. If you run into enemy in an F-80C that knows what he's doing and is very careful, you're not going to have much of a chance unless you have an advantage in numbers. So always cover each other, and remember your strength is your firepower. As you can see here, these guys are getting bored and tired of trying to chase me around. They got my wing black, but I don't think they know that. This guy, I believe I hit earlier, so he's just going to come and do a head-on with me, just to end it. And I actually managed to kill him because of that. So that's your game plan against F-80Cs. At least that's my game plan. It seems to work most of the time. I later die, so I didn't show the rest of that. Here I'm going to show how to shoot down a big bomber, especially these B-24s. Very, very dangerous, very, very powerful. If you just get behind one, you will almost always die in pretty much any plane, including this one. This plane is, it seems fairly sturdy in a head-on, but from any other point, it's very weak, especially fighting the bombers. It seems to be very weak. You take one 50 cal bullet and your wing is all red or black, and so you want to be very careful. As you can see here, this guy is distracted with an AI bot and he's turning, so I figure that it's fairly safe for me to come in from behind. My first attack was from the side, of course. It's much harder for them to shoot you from the side. If you can go head-on with bombers, that's the best case scenario. Very good idea to go head-on with bombers. But I'm just going to take a couple passes, and yeah, you can see me doing yo-yos, and as you can see here, I got hit once and my whole wing is black. But with the Meteor, being damaged is not that important because you're not going to be able to outmaneuver pretty much anyone anyways. So situational thinking and planning ahead and trying to trap your enemy is more important than your maneuverability, so being damaged doesn't matter that much. Here I should have probably turned the other way, kept going. As I was going from the left of him to the right of him, I should have kept doing that. Instead I've turned around. This is mostly just because I had shot him enough that I figured most of his gunners were unconscious, or he was just focusing mostly on keeping his plane in the air, so I wasn't too worried about him shooting me at that point. And I'll let you watch me do the next couple passes. And as you can see, his pilot is now unconscious, so plane dead. Here is me booming and zooming a Yak-9. Now, against fighters, you really have to plan ahead. A lot of times I'll zoom in on the fighter way before I get to them, because I want to see where they're going, which maneuver they're going to try to do, where they're going to try to dodge. And this guy, I saw that he was trying to dodge very hard to the right, so I planned ahead, went to the right. You want to keep your speed up. As you can see there, I was using my flaps. I just wanted to slow down enough that I could turn in order to intercept him. And now I'm going to do a backflip and go right back down on him. The Meteor F3 has very good energy retention, even though it doesn't have much power, it doesn't have much speed. You can retain your energy very well, so booming and zooming prop planes is very easy as far as staying above them, but very hard as far as lining up shots. But as you can see, I wounded him in the beginning, so that was fairly easy to kill there. Now, in the Meteor, You might think, oh, killing props is very easy. You can never, you know, you're a jet versus props. It's no problem. You don't need a guide for that. Well, here is me in a prop plane, seeing how good a Meteor is. Not so good. This is the first Bearcat, so only the small guns, and you can see just one pass and I completely destroyed this Meteor. That was a pretty easy shot. He pulled right up into me, so we're going to show you what happens when you boom and zoom on a Meteor who is ground farming, which many Meteors do. I do as well sometimes. If I see there's a lot of F86s, I mostly just will give up and ground farm because I want something from the game. RP is abysmal as it is. So here's a guy who's ground farming, not paying attention to who's above him, but he does see me as I come in, and he does try to dodge me, and he does try to do little yo-yos and dodges, but the Bearcat can retain its energy fairly well, and the Mustang takes a long time to get more energy. So even though he's going to dodge around and try to run away, I'm going to be able to stay on his tail very, very easily and take him down without much trouble.
There's another one. He's
So,
beating me to another guy.
we're back to the Meteor. So here's what you should do, not what you shouldn't do. If you do go for bots or go for ground targets, always be watching who's above you.
Dive.
Try to delay them until your allies can come and kill them. Because if a jet is following you and you're in a Meteor, most likely your allies can kill them very easily with their Meteors. So that's something just to concentrate on, is working as a team and working on your defensive maneuvers, even though you're not as maneuverable as the enemy. Here, me and my ally are working together. We're going to get into a little bit of a battle with F80s, and an ally is actually going to come in and help us as well. But here it's just a matter of maneuvering, we're not trying to turn with these guys, we're not trying to chase them down. We're just trying to maneuver and kind of cover each other.
I'm trying to go for butterfly.
We're going to keep turning and keep dodging, and eventually we get a shot on the guys who are behind each other. And that's kind of our goal. Of course, you can see here that I'm a terrible aim coming up here, as I have a very good shot on this F80. Jet battles are really about a lot about teamwork. Yeah, you can see that. Terrible landing shot. A lot about teamwork, and a lot of times jet battles are so fast, everyone's going to be under high Gs, so they're not going to be able to see people coming. And this is where, first of all, teamwork and just zooming in and helping your ally and sniping people when they don't see you is going to help a lot. And also watching your radar. Always be watching your radar. That's going to help you a ton, because even if you're pulling high Gs, that radar is always going to show you who's on the map and who's there. Unless they have really high crew skills and you don't. As you can see in that first pass, I actually missed the guy I went head on with because he was just coming out of a turn and he had some horizontal momentum. You could see his plane sliding to one way, and I did not compensate enough for that, and so I missed him with a lot of my shots. Here's another boom and zoom attack on a F80. Unfortunately, because how slow the Meteor is and how fast and how good of a turn that F80 is, even though he was at ground level, ground farming, and I turned in on him from high altitude, he ended up being on my tail instantly, and he's able to fairly well follow me up in the climb. Of course, I asked for help, and my ally is a squad mate, so he's actually going to help me. Playing in the squad is very helpful with the Meteor F3, as you can see here. And as I go up to the top, I immediately see, I had not seen these guys before, but I spot the guys above me. I accidentally stall out because I went up a little bit too high, and now I'm going to bait these guys right back down to my ally once again. As you can see, I'm waiting until they get fairly close to me, and then I'm going to dodge and turn and try to make them bleed off their speed and get tunnel vision on me. As you can see, you can't really turn very much in the Meteor F3. You can't really dodge all that well, especially going at high speed, but I'm going to try to do enough evasive maneuvers that he can't shoot me down instantly. A lot of people in the Meteor, they just get a guy above them and they instantly give up. or they're too low to the ground, and so they have really nowhere to maneuver, as you could see as I was attacking that meteor with the Bearcat. That's exactly what happened to him. So try to keep enough altitude and speed that you can do some maneuvers until your allies can come help. And here I am against Bearcats. Bearcats can outturn you and outclimb you, so they're fairly even match with you. They cannot head on with you. Most people, I think, would say that the Bearcat is a better plane. At least the Cannon Bearcat is a better plane than the Meteor. And I've found that in most situations it is better. But usually I can beat a Bearcat and a Meteor because I can force them into a situation where they're going head-to-head with me, which I have a strong advantage in. Or I can boom and zoom them and energy fight them and trick them into losing their energy by diving. Now, as you can see here, I try to head on the F-80C. I will never, never avoid a head-on with an F-80C because they're so strong against the Meteor. I would always suggest that. Here, as you can see, there's a guy right underneath me, but I can't get a shot on him. So I'm going to try to protect my allies from this F-80C by trying to block him with my plane, trying to make him go head-to-head, which he takes, and I manage to kill him. Or at least mostly to kill him. As you can see, I'm a lot of times trying to turn around in fights to find the guy on the outskirts. The F-80C is a very fast plane, so a lot of times they will zoom in, overshoot you, or overshoot a clump of allies and enemies dogfighting and go to the other side. And if you see, like I saw, my ally was on a guy and the guy was on my ally, another ally, and so they should have the upper hand there. Because of that reason, I didn't want to go into the dogfighting clump. I was just wanting to protect my allies from the other guy who would be coming around for another pass. Here I start to turn with the Bearcat, but as soon as I see he's turning too much, he's turning like he knows I'm there and he sees me and he's going to try to outturn me, I immediately go straight up, and I know that I have plenty of speed that he cannot nose up and get a shot on me. As you can see also, I'm using my flaps quite often. This is both to slow me down and just to make me turn a little bit tighter. As you can see, a lot of those shots, by slowing down a little bit, I was able to turn faster and able to turn just in time to kill the enemy. You don't want to be using the flaps too much, but every once in a while is perfectly fine and very helpful. And my ally gets this guy in a head-on also. He couldn't have done too much else other than boom and zoom us because we were playing as a squad, as a team, covering each other. So that's where the Meteor F3 is very powerful in a team. Well, it's not very powerful. It's useful. You can actually do something in it. Every once in a while, you'll get into a game with F-86s and MiG-15s. For the most part, I would just ignore these guys. Try to dodge them whenever they come near you. Usually they're going very fast, so they can't get a shot on you if you're dodging well. And go for the easier targets. But here, the F-86 was opportune target, and after I hit him, I figured that he would be damaged a little bit. The F-86 and also the MiG-15 are fairly easy to damage, and so I thought, hey, I can go for this guy, maybe I'll be able to kill him, and I do. So that was the F-86 kill.
That's just great.
From this game. And here's another one, just going, trying to go head-to-head with them. Even though the Sabre, some of the Sabres have more firepower in a head-to-head, it's worth it if you take one out for your team, even if you get killed in the F3. But as you can see, I'm switching targets very quickly. Always be ready to switch targets. Very useful skill and kind of something to practice is switching targets. Now I'm going to fly away from this guy into the sun. I'm hoping that my ally can lead him down and into a position where I can boom and zoom him or just boom onto him from the sun, which is where I was going, and I was hoping I would be above him and in the sun and then kill him. But my ally just gave up as the F-86 came onto him. So that's not going to work. So I see his dot over to the right of me. I'm going to go at this B-17 like I'm going to kill him, because most of the time F-86s will just have an easy free kill on Meteors because they give up and go on bots or something. But then I try to go for a head-on with him at the last minute, but I go a little bit early. He sees me and turns away, but he was a little bit distracted and didn't turn away very well. I was able to get a hit on him, and I was able to turn over and snipe him as he's trying to climb away from me. Here I take down a MiG-15. I see him coming into a battle, and I'm thinking that probably he's going for my ally in green there. Also, there's another ally chasing another guy, and so I'm going to fall behind him. As you can see, I'm not trying to dogfight him like maybe you dogfight a normal plane that you have maybe semi-comparable stats with. Instead, I'm lagging behind him, trying to predict where he's going to go. And as you can see here, I'm going to lead him by quite a bit and predict exactly where he's going and kill him. Oh, and then I get killed by another MiG-15 that just zoomed in and killed me in one shot. Hope you like this video, and leave a like or subscribe. See you later.
Yeah, take that, you jerk.